It's so easy to get caught up in plans, processes, and spreadsheets. But what really separates a good company from a truly great one, it's the people. It's always the people. That human factor, well, that's the ultimate competitive advantage. And today, we're going to break down how the best leaders get it right. And this quote, it just nails it. An employee's day-to-day experience, their motivation, their happiness, their productivity, and yeah, whether they stay or leave, so much of that comes down to one single person, their direct manager. All right, so here's our game plan for today. We're going to walk through the entire journey an employee takes, from the first interview all the way to retirement. And we'll dig into how great managers can shape each of these key moments to build a team that's powerful, productive, and incredibly loyal. Okay, let's kick things off with the big picture, the employee life cycle. Think of this as our framework, our roadmap for managing the most valuable and, let's be honest, the most volatile asset any company has. It's people. It really does boil down to these four critical steps. You hire the best people you can find. You inspire them to do amazing work. You admire their contributions so they actually want to stay. And if you get all that right, you create a place where people want to build their entire career and, yeah, ultimately retire with you. So let's talk about that first stage, hire. You could argue it's the most important step of all, because getting this one right from the very beginning, can save you a ton of headaches down the road. Which, of course, begs the million-dollar question every single manager faces. How do you make sure you're bringing the absolute best people onto your team? Okay, here's the deal. The cost of a bad hire is just massive, so this is not the place to cut corners. First, hire for raw talent and potential. You can almost always teach the specific skills later. Second, your company culture is your most powerful recruiting tool. Build a place where people are genuinely excited to work. And finally, from day one, make sure every new person knows exactly what the team is trying to do and how their role fits into that big picture. All right, so you've hired a fantastic person. Awesome. But now the hard part really begins, keeping them inspired. And today, that is way more complex than ever, because you're probably managing across a huge generational divide. I mean, think about it. In many workplaces right now, you can have up to 4 different generations working side by side, and that creates some really interesting dynamics. In fact, nearly 70% of people say they feel a generation rift at work. So, understanding these differences is the key to motivating everybody effectively. Now, what's really fascinating here is just how different the core motivators are for each group. For many boomers, it's about loyalty and company prestige. Gen X, who grew up with a lot of economic uncertainty, they're fiercely self-reliant and really value opportunities for growth. And then you have Gen Y, the millennials, who are often looking for a purpose, something bigger than just the bottom line. Let's zero in on the 2 younger generations that are really dominating the workforce today. For Gen X, it's often about stability and a chance to learn new skills. A lot of them saw their parents get laid off, so that's huge. But Gen Y, they're often looking for flexibility, for meaningful challenges, and for a real sense that their work is actually making a difference in the world. So what's the secret sauce here? How do you inspire these generations? Well, it's about shifting from telling them what to do to explaining why it matters. You've got to involve them in decisions, give them real ownership of their projects, build a sense of teamwork, and, trying to make work fun. Honestly, these things work for everyone, but for Gen X and Gen Y, they are absolutely non-negotiable. This leads us right into our third stage, admire. And this isn't about some one-time bonus or a pizza party. This is the long-term game. It's about making your best people feel so deeply valued that leaving doesn't even cross their minds. But before we can figure out how to keep them, we first have to ask, why do great people leave in the first place? Because the answer is probably not what you think it is. Just look at this. This is fascinating. The number one reason people leave, they just don't feel valued. It's that gut feeling of, if I left tomorrow, they wouldn't even miss me. Right behind that is a lack of opportunity to grow and not having the support they need to do their job well. And notice what's not at the top of that list: money. Pay is usually the last reason people leave if these other things are taken care of. So the solution can't be reactive, it has to be proactive. Make giving positive, specific feedback a regular habit. Recognize and reward great work, and do it publicly. Show them you're invested in their future by offering training for new skills. And set up mentoring programs so they can learn and grow from the pros on your team. And all of this, it leads us to the final and, honestly, the most rewarding stage of the entire cycle: retire. This right here is the ultimate goal of great workforce management. But look, when we say retire, we're not just talking about someone hitting a certain age. True success is creating an environment that's so compelling, so supportive, that your best people choose to build their entire careers with you. And when you pull that off, you become what's known as an employer of choice. This is an unbelievable competitive advantage. It's when you're not just hiring individuals, but you start attracting their kids, maybe even their grandkids, creating a real, lasting legacy of talent. So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. Are you just filling jobs, or are you building a legacy? Are you just plugging holes as they pop up, or are you actively managing this entire employee lifecycle to create something that's going to outlast you, a true legacy of talent?